When we think about cybersecurity, our minds usually jump to some hacker in a dark room, right? Trying to break in from the outside. But what if the biggest threat isn't trying to get in? What if they're already there? Today, we're talking about a huge topic, the enemy within, and the serious risks from insiders. Hey everyone, before we really dive in, if you get value out of explainers like this, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button and the subscribe button. It really helps a lot. Okay, now look at this question. It's a tough one, isn't it? But we have to ask it. Could a trusted colleague, an employee, maybe even a contractor actually turn into your single biggest security problem? Well, the uncomfortable truth is yes, absolutely. And it happens way more than you might think. So let's get on the same page about what we're actually talking about here. An insider threat isn't some stranger trying to guess passwords. Nope. This is someone who already has the keys to the kingdom. They're given legitimate access to your networks, your systems, all your important data. And that authorized access is exactly what makes this threat so dangerous and so tricky to defend against. And look, these threats really break down into two main types. On one hand, you've got your accidental threats. This is your totally well-meaning employee who just makes a mistake. They click a clever phishing link or maybe leave a company laptop in a coffee shop. There's no bad intent, but the damage can be just as real. And on the other hand, you have the malicious threats. Now, this is someone who is knowingly abusing their access. Think of a disgruntled employee who steals a client list on their way out the door, or someone selling your company's secrets. The starting point is the same from the inside, but the why is completely different. Okay, so if the danger could be coming from anyone on the inside, how on earth do you get ahead of it? Well, it all starts with knowing what to look for. So let's get into some of the biggest red flags, the kinds of things that should make you sit up and pay attention immediately. First up is just weird access patterns. Let's say you have an employee who works 9 to 5 from New York, but all of a sudden their account is logging in at 3 a.m. from a totally different country. That is a massive red flag. These kinds of odd patterns usually mean one of two things. Either their account has been stolen or they're using it for something they shouldn't be. The next big one, a sudden spike in downloads. You've got to ask yourself, why is someone in marketing suddenly downloading the entire engineering source code? Or why does a junior accountant need access to every single customer file we have? This is a classic sign that someone might be trying to walk out the digital door with your company's crown jewels. Now, the tech can tell you a lot, but don't forget the human side of this. A sudden, really noticeable change in someone's attitude can be a major clue. Maybe they've become really withdrawn or super secretive, or they're constantly complaining about company rules. Look, a person who feels ignored or unhappy can unfortunately become a pretty motivated threat. And finally, this one is a biggie. Keep an eye out for anyone who just flat out ignores security rules. This is the person who always complains about two-factor authentication, who's always trying to find a workaround for security protocols, or maybe even disables their antivirus because it slows down my computer. They are actively making everyone less safe, and you just don't know if it's for convenience or for something worse, until it's too late. So seeing the red flags is one thing, but that's still just reacting. The real goal here is to build up your defenses so these threats have a much harder time even getting started. And that means you need a proactive game plan. A really solid defense strategy pretty much stands on 3 legs, and you need all of them to work together. First, you have to build a strong, security-aware culture. Second, you put smart, technical protections in place. And third, you provide ongoing practical training for everybody. Let's break down what each of those actually means. We'll start with the technology layer first. This is all about using the right tools to build a kind of digital fortress that's always watching, always protecting, and ready to alert you when something fishy is going on. I know this list looks a little technical, but the ideas are pretty simple. User activity monitoring, that's basically your digital security camera flagging those weird logins we talked about. Role-based access control is super powerful. It just means people only get access to the information they absolutely need to do their jobs and nothing more. Data loss prevention, or DLP, that's like a security guard at the digital exit, making sure sensitive data isn't leaving. Endpoint detection protects the actual devices, the laptops and phones. And then you have AI tools, which are really cool because they learn what normal looks like on your network so they can spot something that's even a little bit off instantly. But here's the thing, and this might be the most important point of all. Technology alone is not enough. It can only take you so far. Your best, most powerful, most lasting defense is your company culture. A happy team, an engaged team, that is a secure team. So how do you build that culture?
Well, it boils down to three key things. Number one, you have to train your team constantly on the basics, how to spot phishing emails, use good passwords, stuff like that. Number two, you have to build real trust. That means creating a space where people feel safe to report a mistake without getting blamed and where their concerns are actually heard. And number three, make every single employee feel like they have a real stake in the company's success. Because when people feel invested, they naturally become the company's best protectors.
This quote here just nails it perfectly. In a world where our most valuable stuff is digital, protecting it from the inside out isn't just a nice to have. It's absolutely essential for survival.
So I'll just leave you with this one last thought to chew on. You can spend a fortune on the best firewalls, the fanciest software, but have you really invested in securing your team? Because at the end of the day, your people are either going to be your biggest weakness or your strongest defense. The choice is yours.